Hello, everybody. I am so glad that we are live and ready to go here. And for some reason, I can't hear anything. So let's make sure I have all my mics and everything on. Okay, so I don't have anybody watching yet. So I will just take a minute and get things all set up here. Okay. Oh, I've got a watcher. Nope, now I don't. Hi, Tracy. I'm glad you made it. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in and then we'll get started. I am going to have my husband watch chat for me because once I get going, I will probably not be concentrating on the screen. So if you have any questions or anything like that, he will make sure that I know them. He'll be in shortly, I think, hopefully. So far, it's just you and me. Exactly. If nobody shows up, you're guaranteed to win the prize. Exactly. That's okay with me too. All right. So my husband has joined me in the stream. Say hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
And I'm going to put it on solo layout. So he's going to keep an eye on chat. Hopefully, if we don't have a ton of people, then I can keep my eye on it. If not, he's going to make sure that any questions that are asked that I've missed, I hear about. Hey, Barb. I'm just giving it a few minutes here, make sure that that we get as many people in as we can, because I'm going to show you some really cool things on how to make this lovely lady look like a ghost. Make her all
Wants to know who's going to be a werewolf tonight.
Hopefully nobody, because those are creepy weird. Halloween and a full moon, there's probably going to be a dozen or two out there. Yeah, exactly. A blue moon, a full moon, and Halloween all at once. So, I don't know. Are you going to be a werewolf there, Barb? We have a wolf. We don't need a werewolf. Speaking of wolf. My husband's in his office tinkering, so he is still there. He's just muted himself, so he's not being loud tinkering. All right. Well, I hope everybody is ready for Halloween and that you have lots of fun things to do. A scary movie night and yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're going to fly back an hour to most people to before midnight again so that they can have one more hour of Halloween. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't changed the daylight savings time thing. Hopefully, one of these days they'll just get rid of it. It's not necessary, but that's just my opinion.
You can't take an hour off of one end of the day and put it on the other end and say you've got a longer day.
That's right, exactly. It's still 24 hours. Is the printer that's making that beeping noise, hon?
Hold on. That one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He's got a printer running in the background, and when it moves to a certain point, it goes neat. If it is annoying, let me know, and I will have him mute it. So, like that. All right. So, what we're going to do today is we are going to do all sorts of fun trick or treat things. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks on this picture to make it look like this picture. Yeah, exactly. It just makes it dark earlier. That's all it does. So what I've done on this picture, and I will show you how I do this on my other picture, is I've taken my black pencil, um, which is a shorty, so it's hiding in my bucket. I've got all the pencils sorted out here on which colors we're going to use, but I've taken my black, which is a PC93 in the Prismacolor. We are going to use Prismacolor today. And I do have all of the colors sorted out here, so I will tell you as I go through them in different areas of what colors I'm going to use. So basically, the first thing I did is I took my black, I put a very, very sharp point on it, and I went through and I took the lines of the buildings and I pulled those lines through the dress. And because I already did that, my pencil is not sharp enough again, so I will go through and I'll show you what I did. So start here with the clock tower and just bring that clock tower down. Make sure that that line is fairly dark and just bring it right through the entire dress. Right here we've got a house that's coming down, and then we're going to go over, and then we're going to put in another house here. And just bring that town line, that city line through the dress. Draw whatever you want. but make sure it's dark enough that you can see it through the dress itself. And once you've got that through, take your black pencil and just shade everything that you have put in for the buildings. Just shade all of the buildings. You don't have to do it really dark yet. We will be later on, but right now you don't have to be really dark. You just got to shade it in. And make sure that you shade in the ones that are going through her dress, because her dress at this point is see-through, and you have to think of it as not being there. And just
Barb says the bottom half is going to be transparent.
the whole body of her is going to be transparent. She's going to be an apparition. So just follow that skyline. See where this building area ends, and follow that skyline with your black pencil in your shading. And it can be jagged closer to the bottom. That's not a big deal, because we're going to be adding different colors to it. But the first thing you need to do is put in the shadow of the skyline on the dress, so that you know where your skyline shadows are going to be. I'll turn this so you can see it a little bit better. I'll be switching over to the close-up camera when I'm doing smaller areas, just because you can see the color a little bit better. And this does not have to be pretty, just a loose shading to get that dark color in there, so you know where your lines are going to be. We will be going over it later to darken it up a bit. And basically, when you're doing things like the like apparitions, like ghosting, like glass, anything like that, all you have to do is remember to reflect or show what's behind that body. So even though I've put, I'm going to show you on this one because I've already played with it a little bit, because I've put the buildings behind her here, and I've colored that in a bit. I've still remembered to make sure that you can see the colors of her dress. So I'm going to switch you over to the other camera here to show you. I've put in the darker areas of her dress, the colors of her dress, even in the areas that are going to be darker because of the black shading. I've still remembered to put those colors in, because what you're seeing in the front is still going to have that color. The only thing I've done to make sure that you can see through her is I've only put the slightest bit of color in her gown. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our colors. On the dress, I have black cherry, black grape, and there was one more. I'm just going to grab it here. And dahlia purple. So you take your dahlia purple and you do the lighter areas that are going to have a lighter purple. And you just follow the lines. You don't color the whole dress because the rest of the dress is going to be in grays and whites because it's going to be dirty and invisible, basically. This is just to show that there was color at some point in this dress. You take it down into the bows, just to show that there was color in this area. And most of the darker areas that you would normally see a shadow if you were coloring the whole dress is where you're going to put that color. So where you would typically shade for overlap or for creases, anything like that, is where you're going to put the color. Hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, ask questions. I do have somebody here in the room with us that will ask the questions for you if I don't see them and don't give you an answer. Like I said, when I'm doing this, most times I am not looking at the screen, so you'll get the odd male voice asking your question for you because my husband is moderating this for me. Then you take your darker one, your black cherry, and you go in here up to where the darker areas are going to be. Same as you would with shading and shadowing. You put your darker areas in. And then that's all the color that we're going to put in here is just your shadow colors. And then we will be going over it with a white or a really light gray. Don't try not to lose your lines of your buildings. If you find that your buildings are starting to get lost in the color, go back over it with your dark pencil and bring those lines back, because those lines are what are going to make her look like she's a ghost. If that makes sense, which I hope it does. Now up here on this lower part of her dress, in the bosom area or in the bottom area, the buttocks area, I'm just going to go around the edge here with this dark cherry. And of course, dark cherry is 1078, which is black cherry. And then I'm going to take this one, which is Imperial Violet. And I'm just going to darken up those areas that would typically be dark. but with a lighter pencil because we're getting closer to the moonlight here. So those are going to be a little bit lighter. And I am doing this very rough. You can do this a lot smoother if you'd like. I'm just doing it very, very rough. So the reason why I'm doing it rough is because I know that once I go over this with the lighter colors, they will spread that out a bit and remove any of the jagged edges I've put in. And same with up here on her top. I'm just going to give a little bit of the purple area, and then I'll take that where did I put it? There it is. And we'll take that Dahlia purple again, which is 1009, and just color in different areas that are going to have a little bit more depth. Things that are going to be thicker are going to still hold more of their color than the gauzier stuff. And then I'm going to take this silver, which is PC 949, and I'm going to just color in the threads in the back, because in my brain they're silver ribbons and they made it through. All right. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on her dress? On what I've done so far on her dress? Nobody? Okay. So now what I'm going to do, and you're going to have to really work with your white pencil. Your white pencil may get quite short in this process. I have a couple of them. Well, I have a few of them because I bought extras. So I'm not too concerned about it. But if your white is already short, it's going to be shorter by the end of this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our white and we're just going to go over everything. Don't go over her hand yet because we haven't done her skin tone yet. But just go over your dress, the top part of your dress. And in different little areas, if you feel that you need to put in a little bit of gray, this one here is 50% cold gray. You can, of course, do that. But make sure that you go over that with your white just to bring that color into the rest of the picture. Now we're not going to blend this with the blender pencil because we want the white to take over. And I am going over the lines that the picture has already incorporated into it, just to make them look faded. Like I said, this is going to use a lot of your white, so don't worry about it. If you don't want to use your Prismacolor white to do this, the reason why I'm using Prismacolors is because the white is very white. So it will blend those colors together and still show on top of the color. So as you can see, as we go over these colors, those colors are getting spread around, so you can see more of the fact that this is a dress and that there was color to it at one point. And I'm only going over the areas that are in the top part of the dress. I'm not going to go over the bottom part of the dress yet because there's different colors that I want to add to that. And it may look a mess. You know, as you're doing it, you may look at it going, God, that looks terrible. But it won't once we're done. Okay. All right. Now we're going to take, oops, sorry, I just wiggled you around. I'm going to actually fix that because for some reason, okay, I don't know why it's doing that. For some reason, it keeps putting the autofocus on, which is really annoying. So I turn it off. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit there. Okay. Now I'm just going to take a bit of this, let's see, 30% cold gray, which is 1061, and I'm just going to lightly go over that.
Barb has an idea for you for a real white. Use chalk. If you have a soft pastel, get the piece of white.
Yes, but I wanted to spread that color into her gown. That's why I used the white Prisma pencil, is because I wanted to deaden this color down a little bit, but I also wanted to spread it. So in order to blend it out a little bit and bring that color lightly into the rest of the dress, that's why I use the white. It would cover the chalk would cover the pencils, I do believe. Hold on a second. I've got a white chalk pencil here. So this is a Crate Color white chalk pencil. And if I was to go over this, I've got to actually sharpen it because it's dull. Okay, so I don't know why it did that. Nightbot is my little bot that helps me with my commercials and all that fun stuff. So the Crate Space one is not very good, obviously, because it's not even showing white. It seems to blend really nicely, though. Okay, so I need an actual white chalk pencil. I don't think I have a white chalk one.
Barb says, yes, as much as you want. Smudge to blend.
Yes, but will it pick up the... See, this is just scraping off the color. It's not.
Perhaps that's just not a good pencil.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And Barb says you can get the ghostly effects too.
Yeah. And that's what I do when I want to put in fog and stuff like that, is I use my white pan pastel at the bottom and add that fog in. And this is just basically blending it with this white pastel pencil, so I don't know why they call it a pastel pencil. Which is fine. It's pretty much what I wanted to do with that anyway. So now I'm going to do the bottom area of her dress here. And I am going to do that with a little bit of French gray and a little bit of pale sage. Sharpen my French gray. Okay. So I'm just going to go over everything that I did in black with this French gray just to add a bit of a thinning of that color. And I'm bringing it down into these torn parts of her dress.
Barb says she recently bought 2 packs of white chalk, 5 in each, so that she could do snow.
Yeah. Wonderful. I try to do a lot of things with one media at a time. But usually by the end of it, I've used the pan pastels and things like that. Now, are those chalk sticks, Barb, or just chalk pencils? Basically what I'm doing here is I'm just taking that 20 French gray, which is 1069, and I'm going to the very tips of this torn dress just to give it a bit of color. And then we'll be adding a bit of the color of the dress to it too. Not a problem. Thanks for coming. I'm so glad you were able to make it. I know a couple of people, especially since it's Halloween, so many people have so much to do and so little time to do it in. And sometimes, I have found with previous live streams, for some reason the notifications don't go out, or people just don't subscribe to them and they don't get them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this clay rose color, which is a PC 1017, and we're going to go up here into the top areas of the lower dress, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the top part of the dress, as we're just going to go through all of those areas that would typically be shadowed, and we're just going to add that color to them. Just to show that there was color on this dress beforehand. That isn't there now. And like I said, I am doing this very, very quickly, so it does look a bit of a mess, but hopefully by the time we're done, it won't. I usually try to be a little bit tidier. All right. Okay, so far we've put in the background here. I'm going to switch you back over to this other camera. There we go. So we've put in the background, just the same as I've put in the background here. The only thing I haven't done on this one that we've already done on this one is added the white. And on the other one, I've done the moon, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So another thing you can do, just to blend that bottom edge in a little bit, and just take a lighter gray color and just try to blend that city line in a bit. Just make sure that you do bring it down into it, because we do want that color to show through. And you can of course do that with your blending pencil as well, if you find that the colored pencils aren't working very good for it. Now I have this on a 65-pound cardstock, which I do find Prismacolor pencils don't do exactly what I want them to do sometimes on. But I wanted to make sure that I was able to do this in a medium that a lot of people had access to. And I know Prisma's white is one of the best whites available, so. And actually showing white through on top of other color, instead of just looking muddy. And sometimes it just looks muddy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just blending that skyline down into the areas of her dress that are hovering. And we're going to put the mist, because that's what this is back here. We're going to put the mist in a gray. And then we're going to put in the ground after we finish with our little lady here. And I don't want it to I want it to look blotchy, I guess is the best word for it, because I don't want it to look like it's a solid mass. I want it to look like it's behind, not in front of. Okay, so that's so far. Let's put those in here and have a sip of coffee. That's better. Now for the girl herself, let's switch you back over to this camera. For the skin tones, I have Deco Peach, which is 1013, and I'm just going to do the very outer edges of her face. In the deepest shadow areas with this Deco Peach. And of course you can do this any way you want to. This is just the way I have played with and learned to do it myself. Of course, there are a million different ways of doing this. So, this is not me saying that this is the way you do it. This is just one of the ways I do it.
Just like many things in life, there's no one right way.
Exactly. Sometimes there's an easier way, or sometimes there's a smarter way, but there is not ever any one right way to do anything artistic, especially artistic. Okay, so now that we've got those deeper areas in there, I'm going to take the eggshell and I'm going to go over those areas and just bring them in to the side of her face that is going to catch more of that moonlight. Which we're going to do with a paler color. And the paler color, of course, is going to go over everything to wash out any color that we've put in, because ghosts don't have color. So now we're going to just take this cream and we're just going to go over everything with the cream. And like I said, your white is going to get a workout today, because we're going to also go over it with the white. And like Barb said, if you do have a white chalk pencil that works really well and shows the white all the way through, that will also blend your colors together. Of course, absolutely, you can use that as well. All right. We're going to take that white, and we're just going to dull everything down. Just like that. Okay. Now, if you find that it dulls it down too much and you don't have a lot of color left, just go back over in little areas just to bring some of that color back up a bit. Because you want to, you know, the thought of this person used to have skin to be there, but because we're not making her a ghoul, we're just making her a ghost. All right. Now I'm going to take this fluorescent yellow. Oh, and I missed an arm. Isn't that nice of me? She doesn't have color on one arm. It's okay. Okay. And where did I put that white? There it is. All right. Now I'm going to take the neon yellow, which is 1035, and I'm going to actually draw the moon in. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to actually draw it right through her body. All the way around the moon. If I can keep it in the camera picture. Would be good. Now, as you know, I have a thing about flipping my pages so that I can get to things easier. So if I flipped my page and you can't really see what I'm doing, just let me know and Bob will tell me. Now I'm just going around the outer part of her and bathing that area with a bit of moonlight for reflection and glow. Just make sure when you put those lines in, just take your black line here if you want to and just follow that line around. Same with here on her body. If you want to take that black line and follow it around, you can. All right, now I have, where is it? This one, which is a gray-green light. I'm gonna sharpen it up here because I've dulled it. And we're just gonna give that moon a coating of this gray-green light. And then we're going to go over it with a bit of a yellow as well. We'll go over it with a bit of a cream in different areas and a bit of a gray in different areas. And I'm not pressing really hard on the pencil. I am just shading it. I am pressing a little bit harder than I would for shading, but not as hard as I would to fill the space, if that makes sense. And now I'm going to take a bit of this one, which is pale sage, and I'm just going to give a darkness to certain areas, because this is the moon, you know. And then we're going to take eggshell and just put a little bit of yellow back into the moon. All right. Now this one is 20% gray, and I'm just doing the little bit more to the areas that we've put the darker moon type shapes in. Okay. All right, so that's the moon and the colors there. Now I'm just going to I'm actually going to sharpen this because it's a little bit too dull to get into those small areas. I'm going to take the fluorescent or neon yellow, and I'm just going to outline the inside of her eye here. Just so it looks like it's glowing. I'm just going to redo those areas that we want to glow. Okay, and we want this rooftop here to glow a bit. This one down here. What I'm doing at this point is I'm just going through and I'm just lighting up different areas that the moon is going to make glow. And we're going to make the clock tower glow. And I'm going to actually go around really gently with this yellow around the buildings, because we're going to start doing our skyline. And I want to make sure that the skyline is lit up a little bit. And I am doing this behind her dress as well. So anywhere that you would normally put that light coming up from the buildings, make sure that you do that on the back side of her dress as well, so that when it comes up, it looks like it's all one area, not a different area. If that makes sense. If it doesn't, sorry. Not much I can do about it. And hopefully that looks all right. And that gives you a bit of that yellow. Oh, we've got 6 people watching, which is fantastic. Now I'm going to do the sky. So I'm going to start it off with a bit of, well, I started off with that yellow. And I'm going to start it off above the yellow with some purple. But I'm not going to do too much on the inside of her dress for that, because it's already got that purple in it. But this is just the color of the skyline as it changes when you have the city below. Because we want this to be a night sky, but you know, when you look at the night sky and you look at the skyline, it doesn't look quite black, because it's not. Well, not in my vision anyway, not what I can see. And take that purple and just go around the moon a little bit with it as well. And I'm not being heavy-handed with this. I am just shadowing or shading at this point. There's many layers that are going to go over top of this, of different blues into blacks. So make sure that you leave enough tooth for all the colors as they go. And once again, I'm just going to throw it out there. This is not the absolutely only way you can do this. You can do this any way you want to. This is how I've learned to do it, or how I've devised how to do it. This is not the only way these things are done. And sometimes it's not even the best way that these things are done. So, and I will never ever tell you that's the best way, because whatever way you're comfortable with doing it is your best way. Okay, so I've added the purple that I wanted to add, and I'm throwing the pencils around here, so hold on a second. Now I've got number 208, which is Indian Throne Blue, and I'm going into that purple with it. And not all the way down to the skyline itself, just almost. And I'm thickening that color up a bit. And I'm not doing her hair quite yet, but you'll see why in a bit. Now remember to go in to the purple around the moon. Sorry, I had an itch in my ear. And I'm not pressing hard, I'm just shading. Bringing those colors together. And I don't want to go out too far, but I don't want to stay in too close either. Because we do want to make that a dark area, just not pitch black in that area yet. Okay. And then the next one we're going to use is indigo blue. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to bring it out into the sky. Go down into the blue that you just put in, into the purple a little bit, and bring it into where we're going to put the black. So how is Halloween going there, Dee? I know the kids are all dressed. Bob, one of her kids is dressed as the blue guy. It's very sus.
The blue guy.
And I think it's a blue girl, isn't it? Dee? I think your girl is the one that's dressed as the blue guy, right? Hi, Devin.
The wonderful thing about the Among Us characters is they are gender neutral.
Yes.
Guys, girls, doesn't matter as long as they're not the imposter.
As long as they're all sus. So are they all sus, or is it just her that's in Among Us? Or did they all dress that way?
She's purple, but it looks blue in the picture.
Oh, okay. Well, that purple one's even more sus. Watch the purple. Right, Devin? Devin's usually pink or purple. My husband plays with his friends. And every once in a while I play with them, but I always end up being the killer. So now what I'm doing is I've got the black and I'm just blending all those colors together with the black. I'm not going all the way down to the very, very bottom of the darker area so that I can leave that. Yeah, blue is sus.
She knitted them all a character and stuffed them. They're cute. That would be.
That's cool. I want pictures, Dee. Bob printed a bunch of Among Us guys on his 3D printers. And they're really cute.
One of the guys in the 3D printing community has a web store, and he's selling little keychains of the little guys.
Which is awesome. I will leave the link for that in the about section as well, so that if you want to take a look, you can go and take a look at all the 3D things that he prints and sells. Thank you, Dee. That'd be awesome. I would love to see them. So now we're just getting the night sky in here. And we're just adding the black in to get that dark. Like I said, I'm not doing this really hard. I am only doing this as a shading. I will go back over it at some point and darken it up. This is just to give you an idea of how I do this. And I don't want to take all day to do it. Because it will. Okay, so I'm going to just fill that in a little bit more because it's not as dark as I'd like it to be. I'm going to switch it back over to the other camera so you can see what it's starting to look like. So what we've done is we've brought that dark color or too high, but oh yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not going to turn on our lights at all, and I have, you know, higher teenage boys and an adult boy, so they don't do trick-or-treating anymore anyway. So we're just going to turn off the lights and call it done for the year, because the numbers here are really high. We had our highest set of numbers in Oregon yesterday. So absolutely, Dee, that is the smartest thing to do, is just make him a basket like an Easter basket and dress him up and have a little bit of a movie night or something else at home. Keep them safe. So what I've done here is I've just colored the black sky. Of course, it's a night sky, but I've left enough of the light coming off the moon with that lighter purple, as well as a bit of that neon yellow, just to light it up a little bit. And then down here at the bottom, we've got the ground, and then we've got a bit of mist here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very, very lightly shade that with a light gray. Yeah, ours have been a complete roller coaster, up and down constantly. So I'm just going to bring that dark color from the bottom of the houses here down into this misted area.
Dee says the last 2 weeks have been like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I just wish people would. I know it's hard, and a lot of people have things that they have to do. But there's a lot of people that are absolutely positive that masks don't help, and staying home doesn't help, and that it's all a farce, and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like,
so some of these debates are repeats, and I hate to get into politics here because you're coloring and let's have fun with it. But it's just like when seatbelt laws were enforced. Just because you've never needed one in the past doesn't make it not a smart idea.
exactly.
It doesn't hurt anybody. Even if it has the chance of helping somebody, just be a decent human and do it.
Exactly. You know, it doesn't hurt to, you know, make sure that your mouth is covered, so that if you do carry it, or if you do have it, you're not killing somebody else.
So on a more lighthearted topic, I'll get the link for the website for the keychains. And unfortunately, they're not up there just yet, but he says he's going to have them up there on the site tonight.
Oh, awesome. Okay, thank you. And, you know, what else does he have up there? Just different 3D things that he's printed, or?
The name of the website is Tiffy's Lemonade Stand, and Tiffy is his wife. I talk with him more than her, but they do 3D printed, primarily earrings. And looking at their site, they're all beautiful. I know his setup, and I know that it's very high quality prints. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you might not even know that they were prints.
Oh, cool. So I don't know if all of you understand what 3D printing is. Basically, it's a machine that prints three-dimensional objects out of plastics. And my husband is a 3D printer person. He's not an actual printer. he's the person. He just owns the printers, and he prints me all sorts of things, which is actually a good thing. It's a good place to stop, because what we're going to do, we've got 5 people here, which I was kind of hoping we'd have a few more, but my husband printed this. One of you already knows what this is, because she won one for our Christmas challenge in what used to be the Cozy Coloring Corner at Coloritaville Facebook group. And this is a pencil tray. You put your pencils in here like this, and it will hold all the pencils in one place. You can tip it forward, see those 8 pencils that you have in your tray. And this one here, I am going to give away today. Now, it does say on here, because it was made for this place.
Why don't we just fix that?
But my husband can reprint that, so that won't say that anymore. And it'll take a day or two for that to happen. But I will have this shipped out to whoever wins within the next week. Now, what it looks like full, because I have a full one here, because I do use them. I use them a lot. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like full. So that's what it looks like full. And it tips forward, gives you all the pencils in one line. So if you've got your yellows, you can have your yellows in one line, your oranges and reds and so forth. So that is what we are giving away today. And the way that we're going to do that is throughout the next half an hour, I am going to have anyone in the chat type in the words trick or treat, spelled like this. It has to be spelled the same way. Just make sure that's how I have it spelled, because that would suck. No, so trick or treat. The way I have it spelled there. And then I will run our little program that will choose out of everybody who has typed in those words in the chat. And whoever it chooses will win that wonderful, wonderful prize. And my husband is going to reprint the base so it doesn't say what it says. And we won't repeat what it says. Just to be safe. So I'm just going to color in the ground area here with the gray-green light. Just around the little rocks and pebbles on the cobblestone here. And I'm just filling that all in. And I will go around that with some browns and different cobblestone colors. Now make sure that you only say it once, otherwise the bot will kick your entry out. So once we finish this picture, and we should be finished in the next little bit here, I will run the bot and it will choose a winner for us so that it's a complete random thing. All right. So I'm going to switch you back over here so you can see what I've done here. So what I've done is I've taken that, I'm going to turn on the light. I don't know if it'll help any. Nope. It's actually washing it out more. Now I've taken that really, really light green gray, and it's a really, really, really light color, almost a white color, but it does give that hint of green color to it. And I'm going to actually, when I finish this off with the pan pastels and the blending and everything else, all of these colors here at the bottom are going to get blended together. And then I'm going to actually spray it and take my white pan pastel and I'm going to just coat it and draw different layers of pan pastel through it so that the different layers of color show through in just little thin lines, so it looks like wispy clouds all over the bottom area. That's my plan anyway. Okay, you know what I did not do, which is just silly of me? I did not take out any browns for the stones. I don't know why, because I'm silly. All right, so I'm going to take out sepia and dark umber. Well, maybe just dark umber, and I'll use the gray colors. So I'm just going to go around the darker areas here with the dark umber. And for some reason, all of my commands aren't working, which is fine. I have a couple of different commands for Nightbot to do, one of which is a information on how you can help out the channel and different things that you can do to help us with providing prizes and different things like that. And the other one is, of course, to remind anybody that is new to the channel to make sure they hit the subscribe button, hit and ring the bell so that you get information on any of the videos that come up as soon as they come up, and any of these wonderful Saturday color alongs that we do, so that you can be prepared with your pictures and whether or not you have the book or anything like that. And of course, for our Saturday color alongs, I will absolutely take suggestions. So if there is anything that you want to explore and want to know how I do different things, make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section of what you want to see done on one of these Saturday color alongs, and I will do my best to make sure that happens. Okay, so I've gone over it with the dark umber there. I'm just taking the 50 cold gray is what that pencil is, and I'm just going over it with a bit of that cold gray, and I'm leaving an area open for moonlight to hit. And I'm going to quickly go over it with a bit of this moonlight. Because it is flowing through the ghost. I think we need a little bit more gray on that area. And I know this does not look polished and perfect because it's not. This is just a very, very rough going over so that I can show you how I do it. Of course, you'll be doing your blending, you'll be doing that sort of thing, just to bring all those colors together. Now I'm going to do her hair, and I'm going to start with the blue indigo up here at the top of her hair. And at the very, very, very crevice here, we're just going to add a bit of black. Because she used to have black hair. And now it's going to start turning all different gray colors and falling out. Yeah. Do ghosts' hair become white and gauzy all the time, or can they still have a little bit of color to it? I think they still can have a bit of color to it, especially where it comes into the scalp area, because it's not completely dead there yet. What do y'all think? Have I put you all to sleep? I think everybody went to sleep on me. So I'm just going to go and do the same thing that I did on the dress. And I'm just going to put in color in those areas that would be shadowed. Okay. And it's not difficult to do. Basically, when you do a transparent object, well, the way I do it anyway, is I just look at what's behind the object and color it in, put it in. Like, for example, this picture here, I made sure that you could see that skyline behind her so that it stood out as a transparent object. And that's basically all you have to do. All you have to remember is that anything behind it, whether it be a piece of glass or a ghost or a window, anything that's directly behind it is going to be seen. So make sure you put it in if they haven't put it in for you already. And if you don't draw very well or whatnot, that's perfectly fine too. Just as long as it has the same dimensional shape, then you're perfectly fine. As long as you show that there is something to be seen on the other side of something, everybody will see it. Is basically all it is. Make sure that with the hair that you go in the direction of the hair, otherwise you're going to pull that dark into weird directions and it won't look right, like I almost did up here at the top. Okay, well, that is almost finished there. All right. Now this is very rough, so it hasn't been blended. I'm going to switch you over here so you can see what it is basically going to look like. I will blend this night sky area in so that it is very dark and it's filled in. There's a lot of white spots showing through right now, which is fine, but once I blend it, it won't be showing through. But that's basically what we're looking for, is so that you can see the mist, which once I put the mist in with the pan pastel, will cover up a lot of these lines in her dress, and it will basically follow this line. And then you've got your lines of your buildings that you can also see through her dress. So you know there's something on the opposite side of her, that she's just floating. Same with showing the color of the moon through her hair, through her face, and through her body. It just gives you the image that that person or that thing is not solid. So I hope everybody was able to learn from that. Hopefully I made it easy to understand how I do it. I'm going to go through and I'm going to hit roll it now. So I hope everybody has put in the chat box trick or treat, because I'm going to hit roll and it is going to go through and pick a person that has said trick or treat. So I'll count to 5 before I hit roll it. 1, trick or treat. 2, trick or treat. 3, trick or treat. 4, trick or treat. 5, trick or treat. 6, trick or treat. And we hit roll. And D, I need you to send me a private message on Facebook and send me your postal address, because you have won this wonderful, fantastic pencil holder. And I will ship that out to you. Now it does hold 136 pencils, I do believe. So you can actually put an entire set of pencils in there. So make sure that you send me a message on Facebook, because I know I have you on my Facebook page, letting me know your address and all that shipping information. And as soon as my husband has the new base printed for you, is there anything that you want printed on the base other than my coloring corner? Let me know in a private message in Facebook. With that, I just wanted to go through and show you how I do these things. I will say one more time that it is not the only way to do these things. It is not the perfect way to do these things. And if you want to continue learning the way I do things, absolutely I would be happy to show anybody how to do these things. If you want to give me some sort of tips and tricks yourself, do so in the comment section, and that would be fantastic. Oh, my husband is so nice. So my husband sent me a fantastic idea via the private chat. So we had two wonderful people say trick or treat. So D and Tracy, both of you, since I have 2 of these that I had printed up for a different purpose, Tracy, will you make sure that you send me a PM in Facebook as well? You can find me under Renee Carnes. Just send me a private message if you are not on my Facebook friends list. If you are on my Facebook friends list, of course, send me a message or send me a text in the comment section of your email address, and I will email you. So both of you will receive one of these fantastic things. If you do have something other than my cozy or my coloring corner that you want this to say right here, send me a text message of what that is. Thank you very much, Bob, for suggesting that and doing that for us. I do appreciate it very much. And thank you both for, participating. And, one of the things I like to do is have these little contests. Bob does all sorts of printing for me. The pencil holders are just one of the many things that he has made for me. And I do believe he's going to be making me a couple more things that are really, really cool that a lot of people may really enjoy. And I may have him print extras just for us. But with that, with all of these things, does anybody have any questions at all on how I did anything here or anything like that? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I do thank you so much for joining me and participating in my giveaway. If both of the winners will be so kind to send me a text message, I will be happy to get those out to them. If you want to join me next weekend, of course, that will be on Saturday at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, same day, every week. I will be doing a color along. I will post them on Mondays just to make sure that everybody can ring the bell. Thanks for joining me, and have a safe, happy Halloween. Everybody relax, color, and stay safe. All right. Well, bye-bye for now.